Hi, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
We're coming to you live.
We are in Orem, Utah at University Place or University Mall, whatever you want to call it. We are here at the, west end of the mall, right in front of where Macy's used to be by Taipan Trading and VisionWorks. Why are we standing here?
Guys, we have this behind us tonight, the Giving Machines. One of 10 locations we're at?
Yeah, one of 10 locations throughout the world. You want me to name the other ones real quick?
No,
okay, great.
I think people can find out where those are at. But What we do want to tell people is check this out. Although this is reverse, let me reverse it actually really quick.
Okay.
You guys, we are over $2 million.
$2,150,380 in donations currently.
And this is all 10 locations combined. So pretty incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So tonight, though, Jenny, we want to talk about something pretty fun, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because there are only 10 locations.
Right, which is double the amount of locations from last year, which is great. Also, we have people at sea from Orlando, Florida, from Shelley, Idaho. Do you guys have machines by you?
I don't think either of those locations have machines close to them. So we want to tell you what you might be able to do because, you know what, we have done this for the past 3 years since there have been giving machines. The first year, 3 years ago, it was Salt Lake City only. Last year, 5 locations. This year, 10. Mm-hmm. But many people can't logistically get to a giving machine location. So Jenny had an awesome idea, and you're going to tell us about that.
Yeah. So when we would do Facebook Live broadcasts from the different locations of the giving machines throughout the world, the number one comment we would see on the Facebook Lives is people talking about how they wish the giving machines would come to where they are and how they wish they could participate. And while, again, like John mentioned, they are in 10 locations this year and not just 5, that's still a lot of people who are not within driving distance of a machine.
Yeah, and give us a comment if you've been to a giving machine location at all. Let us know where. If you haven't, put no, because we want to hear where you're from and if there's a location near you.
Yeah, or if you've been to one, whether it's near where you live or where you are maybe visiting for the holidays. So anyway, taking into account that so many people were talking about how they wish they could have the giving machine experience and they weren't physically close to a giving machine, what I decided to do was start an Instagram account called Proxy Giving Machines. So if you're on Instagram, go ahead and follow at Proxy Giving Machines. And the idea is this. I post the items available in the giving machines here in Orem and also in Salt Lake City, and because I happen to live within driving distance of both, and check out those posts, check out what you would like to purchase, and if you want to, you can Venmo me the money. All the information is on this Instagram account, and I will go to the machines, I will make the purchase for you, and I'll make a video of it. If you want, I'd love to be able to hear about why you've chosen the item or items that you did. Maybe it was a family effort and your kids were really invested in choosing those items. Maybe they saved up money to do so. And I'd love to share your story. I've also had people reach out to me and say, here's some money and here are the items, and if you want to make a video, that's fine, but it's private. Don't call me out by name. I really want this to be just a private, personal thing for my family and me. And so that is part of what we're doing to help light the world this year with the giving machines. And
actually, when we finish this video, I believe you have some of those proxy giving machine transactions
I do. I've had about 6 or 7 come in, and so we're going to record them, and then I'm going to maybe edit as needed, and then put them up on the Instagram account at Proxy Giving Machines.
At Proxy Giving Machines. One other account that we should probably mention is there is an Instagram account this year for Light the World Giving Machines. So if you want to see what people are doing from around the 10 locations, that is an account. There's also Gilbert Giving Machines Denver, but many of the locations...
And Giving Machines Las Vegas.
Those are the many locations. Have locations that have Instagram accounts, so you can see who's giving and what's happening there. But again, we're here to talk about Proxy tonight.
Yeah. So... I've had some really cool stories come in. One was from, and I don't want to give too many spoilers, but a woman in Pittsburgh who wanted to give some items that have to do with safety and security. And she was able to tell me that it's because there was a time in her life when she needed those things and they weren't available to her. And so for her, it's very meaningful to pay it forward now so that someone else can have those things.
Yeah, very good, very good. Also, maybe this is a good way for us to go out if we want to. This year's theme, every year has a different theme for Light the World. This year's theme is one by one.
Yes. It makes me think of another one. I don't want to spoil all the cool stories, but one woman I know who, she's actually a senior missionary serving in a different state, and she shared that she wants to purchase a suicide prevention kit because her nephew died by suicide, and she's seeing what his family members are going through and the pain that they're experiencing. So I think the way she put it was, let's prevent anyone else from having to go through this, and that really is an example of one by one, of lighting the world one by one. Absolutely.
Well, let's go ahead. Actually, I think people might be interested. We are at the Orem Giving Machine. There are some national charities and some local charities. Yeah. Maybe we could take 30 seconds or so and go through some of the more salient ones that you think are important. Let me flip this so it's not mirrored.
And I'll just say, too, that the breakdown for the machine seems to be that there are 6 charities for the machines. It looks like it's about 4 local and then 2 international. In Salt Lake and in Orem, at the Giving Machines there's one that overlaps and is in both. That one is CWS. It's cwsglobal.org, and those are actually the items that seem to be most popular. There is not a goat this year, but the livestock options are always something that are popular.
Now, isn't there a goat in Salt Lake City, though?
No.
There is not?
Nope.
Okay.
No, and so what we've got here from CWS is, and it's a variety of prices, too, the price range I'm really appreciative of. There's life-saving nutrition, which provides a malnourished child with therapeutic food and rehabilitation, and then the 3 livestock options: 3 chickens for $18, 1 sheep for $60, and 1 piglet for $100. And what those do, for those who may not understand, is those things provide sources of income for a family in a developing country that may need it. Also, like for instance, the sheep will provide clothing from the wool that it provides. Another interesting item here is the acre of sweet potatoes. It's for $150, and it's a drought-tolerant crop. So that provides a source of income for a family as well as food. So that's one of the international global charities here in Orem. The other one is Water Aid. Those items all have to do with sanitation, of course, and clean water. The other 4 local charities that are represented here in Orem, there's the Community Action Services and Food Bank. Those are all food related. There's 100 meals, 250 meals, take-home meals for a child, for children who live with food insecurity and need a lot of kids who are living with food insecurity. Maybe the only meal that they get during the day that they can rely on is at school. And so this provides them a take-home meal. Also, of course, up here at the top, there's the Family Support and Treatment Center. And that's where you see some child care, a child abuse prevention class, individual therapy session. Therapy is something that for people who don't have insurance and they aren't covered, it can be a luxury, and so that's very helpful. Also, the United Way of Utah County is providing some really important items here. You've got a baby blanket, art supplies, sending a kid to soccer camp, suicide prevention training like we talked about before, and books for classroom of kids. And then, of course, the Center for Women and Children in Crisis, a night of safe shelter and relief and safety. A new home stability kit, a trauma support kit. It's a backpack with basic clothing, food, and medicine. Back to school gear for a child to start back to school. And then a comfort blanket. Allows a victim of abuse to have a personal blanket while in the hospital or at the shelter. So as you can see, these items cover a wide spectrum of need, both locally and globally. And maybe, what I tend to see is that people who have their own experience, again, whether it's related to a specific organization or charity or cause, they're able to find something, or maybe an experience that they've had personally that they're able to then want to pay it forward, or they know someone who's experienced something. And so it really, there's so many options here.
Hey, before we end, I'm off camera, but go ahead. Would you mind sharing with us your experience of being a single mom and receiving something very special on Christmas Eve? I think that's a great example of the one-by-one theme that this year covers. Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, no problem. It doesn't have to do with the giving machines, but it certainly is pertinent here. I was a single mom for a few years before John and I were married, and 1 year I had an experience where I had it was my turn to have the kids for Christmas, and I was very excited and felt like I could be I was on top of things, and I was organized enough to make sure that it would all happen. And on Christmas Eve day, I had just a handful of errands to run, but as soon as I was done with those, I was going to have it all locked down and ready to go. That morning, one of the things I had to do was drop off one of my daughters at a therapy appointment. And then after I dropped her off, I remember going to my first my first store for all my errands that I had to run that day. And it was while in my car in the parking lot at that store that I got a phone call from her therapist. And she said, "I need to let you know that your daughter is suicidal and has plans to take her own life tonight." So I, of course, dropped all my plans and went and got her, and we went immediately to the emergency room and basically spent the entire day in the emergency room until she could get the care and support that she needed to feel stable and safe. That evening, by the time we left the hospital, of course, her care and safety and health and well-being was the priority that day. And as we left and she felt safe enough to go home, it was dark outside, and there were hardly any stores open. There was a grocery store open across the street from the hospital. And so we went there, and I had whittled my list down to just the basic necessities of what I needed. And as we walked through the store, my daughter and me, with my other kids at home, having just kind of held the fort down for themselves all day long, I really tried to not let my daughter see my sadness, but I just couldn't help it. I felt like a failure. I felt, whether as a mom, I didn't know how to help my daughter, that I wasn't going to have the Christmas that I wanted to give my kids. I had to let a lot of those expectations go, and the tears just wouldn't stop falling. So we just kind of walked up and down the aisles and got what we needed while the tears fell, and I could not stop them. So after we checked out and we went out to the parking lot, I was loading my bags into the car, and someone ran after me and said, "Excuse me, you forgot something." And I was like, what do you mean? I had my purse, I had my keys, I had my daughter. And they said, "It's at the service desk." And so I went to the service desk in the grocery store, and the worker there kind of slid across the counter a small flower pot with a few beautiful yellow flowers in them. And she said, "Someone saw you and wanted you to have this and said that they hope you have a good night and a Merry Christmas." And it wasn't a traditional Christmas gift. But I'll never forget that. And I don't know who did it, and I still don't know who did it. But that was a reminder to me of us being seen by the Savior. That person, that night, I don't know if they realized it, but they were doing the Lord's work. They saw me in my pain, and they gave what they could. It was a small gesture, yet it was mighty. And it will always, always have a profound difference. Anytime I see yellow flowers, that's what I think of now. So, is that what you wanted me to say?
That is absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, sure.
That was unscripted and impromptu, so I appreciate you doing that. Mm-hmm. But as we talk about the theme one by one, I thought that brought the spirit in, so thank you.
Thanks.
Everyone, we appreciate you being with us tonight, and High Five Live, make sure you like and share High Five Live. We love the inspirational content they put out on a daily basis. So thank you for watching tonight. As we talk about Light the World, how should we sign off?
Just one more reminder, and I guess maybe plug for the account at Proxy Giving Machines on Instagram. If you or someone you know would like to participate in the giving machines by proxy, tag them in the comments here, or go to Proxy Giving Machines, follow and tag them there. Let them know. And as always, let me know if you have any questions about it. We're really happy to be a part of Light the World. We're happy to be a part of High Five Live. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight, and
Merry Christmas, and everyone go out and light the world. Oh, tomorrow we have to remind them of tomorrow's challenge, Light the World Challenge. Jenny, what is that?
I don't know. If you haven't, I should have had the number, but the
Number
daily,
11.
the daily reminders you can get for on your as a text
device.
message on your device as a reminder of what to do to light the world. And tomorrow it's
call your parents. Make sure you quickly call your parents. Do it without
hesitation.
Stopping and think and hesitation.
Don't think you're going to do it later. They live in a different time zone.
Exactly. So make sure you do it right when you wake up. Make sure you share your love with your parents. I think that's important. Okay, everyone. Merry Christmas. Have a great remainder of December, and go out and light the world.
Thanks.
We'll see ya.